Hello everyone! Today we start our first lecture of the WIM number 1 Culture and Belief and gonna talk about the history of Russia. Russia as a country have been going through different stages of development, and in this lecture I want to highlight the three most probably recent and unique, special, very important part of country's development. Namely Tsarist time, Soviet Union time, and the modern days of the country. So, in exactly 300 years ago, Russia proclaimed itself as a Russian Empire because it was quite large and powerful at that time, and it was the third largest after British and Mongolian empires. That was a very prosperous time of the country. The time in the on the pictures on the right and left, you can see high class behind me, and on that side the lower class. How did they look like? How did they spend their leisure time? So on black and white picture you can see a lot of peasants gathering outside the houses. Basically it's a village. The houses made of woods. Look how do they dress, so pretty simple. And on the picture behind me, it's a typical Russian ball with women dressing long ball dresses, and men were dressed in a frock coats. The Russian Empire was proclaimed by Peter the Great, the first Russian emperor, and during that time, Russia has been gone through a lot of reforms. For instance, Peter the Great asked to cut the beard for all men because they used to wear a long beard. But Peter the Great traveled a lot to Europe, and I learned a lot through the different specialists about how to build ships, how to build cities. So basically, he is the founder of St. Petersburg, called in the name of his name, St. Peter, St. Petersburg, also known as Petrograd. Until now, Petersburg is very famous tourist attraction for everyone who visited Russia for the first time. They try to visit the city and to travel there and enjoy the beautiful palaces, unique architecture, and so on. So when St. Petersburg was built, it became the capital of a Russian empire. So after that, they switched with Moscow several times. Sometimes St. Petersburg was the capital, sometimes Moscow city was the capital. But during the Tsarist Russia, St. Petersburg was the main cultural, economic, and power city of the empire. The next period of Russian development is the USSR time, or Soviet Union time. So basically, the disintegration of Imperial Russia began by the time of the revolution. So the old regime and the monarchy, the old regime of monarchy before the revolution was completely decayed and exhausted and worn out by 1917. The civil war happened at the time, and the war ended the process of this decay. It cannot even be said that the revolution run by Lenin on that first picture. So basically, it's not the revolution which stopped the regime of monarchy, but at that time, the monarchy itself fell and no one defended it. Bolshevism, run and started by Lenin, turned out to be the only force that, on one hand, could complete the composition of old regime, and on the other hand, organized a new history, a new beginning, and give some freedom to the peasants, give them more land. So before, the peasants couldn't own any land and produce the food to their own, but was basically, we cannot call them slave, but they belong to the higher class and they work for them. And it happened like generation after generation. During the Soviet Union time, Russia came as other part of the USSR, came through the difficult times of the Second World War, which ended in 1945, 9 of May, and still it's very highly celebrated by my country, called the Victory Day. Every citizen, every Russian city celebrated with a great holidays. For example, this year in Russia we had of about 9 to 10 days of holidays in May to celebrate. 1st of May we celebrate in the Labor Day, and 9 of May there was a Victory Day. It also goes with firework, with parade, and a lot of mass activities across the country, and also overseas as well. In Hong Kong here there was a celebration of Victory Day as well in one of the local places. So yes, after the USSR time in 1991, the declaration of the termination of the existence of the USSR was issued, and the USSR were reorganized. What was parted and was parted into the different small countries, and basically Russian Federation was recognized as de facto state successor of the USSR, because Russian Federation was the biggest part of the Soviet Union. Okay, slightly moving to the modern day Russia. I put a picture here, the picture of Moscow city. So it looks much more developed. It's multilingual, multinational country, but primary language is Russian. But as you can see on the map, it consists of different colorful flags of different republics and nationalities. So I'm very proud that my country is very multinational, and officially consists more than 80 different nationalities within one country. I want to tell you about the most famous holidays we celebrate in the country. So our main holiday is Russian New Year, which we celebrate on 1st of January, followed by the Christmas in Russia, which is 7th of January, following the Orthodox Christian calendar. We also celebrating largely International Women's Day on March 8th. And as I told you before, the Victory Day, 9th of May, and Russia Day, which is 12th of June. And lastly, the Union Day is 4th of November. So we have pretty much a lot of holidays and free days during the year to cheer and spend time with our families and friends. A little bit about demographics in Russia. So as I told you, we have a lot of different ethnic groups and nationalities within my country. The main religion in Russia is Russian Orthodox, so Orthodox Christianity. We also have a lot of Muslim people and all the other Christian people like Baptist and Protestant and Catholic. The main language is Russian language, but we also have a lot of people who speak Tatar, Chechen, and other languages. Thank you for watching. That's all about the history, and I hope you can use some of the new vocabulary from this lecture to complete the tasks.